Okay. We got some review questions. Okay, let me show y'all something first because I'm going over a review right now in Math 110. So I'm just going to show you this because some of you might need to review a little bit more. I do remember some of y'all saying that you need to review a lot on algebra. So I'm going to show you where that one is. And I'm going to start reviewing the college algebra, and you can use it as you see fit. It's called Math 110 Conventional / Online. And when you go to it, where is it? There it is, playlist. There it is. I started yesterday, which is the third day or fourth day.
I'm starting something new this semester.
Oh, God.
I didn't know where your office was.
Stand to hear myself talk. Okay, so here is the review homework questions, and here is the review topic. So if some of you want to review some while you're reviewing with this Math 111, you can go and look at those. That's this semester. That's Friday and yesterday. Friday and yesterday, you can do that, and you can follow along. Now that was only 16 minutes because we were having a problem with the camera yesterday. I think lightning hit that tower right there, so we had to go get another tower, and it took us about 30 minutes to get started. So that's why yesterday's class is only 16 minutes. But anyway, if you want to follow along at Math 110, there it is. And I'm going over review topics just like I'm going over this, okay? So I'm going to go over review topics today, depending on what questions are sent to me. And you can use that Math 110 as a review also. So that's up to you if you want to use it. Okay. Now, let me go back to, these are, I see 3 questions maybe. No, that's Math 110. Okay, I got Math 111, that's number 17, that's number 14, and that's number 14. Sometimes y'all hit the button twice, and that's fine. Okay, the first one I got is, I think that's 13. We'll do 13 and 14. That one's not even, no, that's 17. Okay, 13, this is number 13, and, okay. Remember, I don't know what I've told y'all yet, but when you're talking, let me hit the record button. I'm just going to record. Remember, the domain and range is affected when you have a radical or a what? A fraction. A radical or a fraction. So you can have x to the first, x to the second, x to the third, x to the fourth. You can have all of those, okay? And your domain is going to be all reals, and your range is going to be dependent on the domain, right? And you'll have to look at a graph to see what the range is. But your domain on all of those are going to be all real numbers. Only when you have restrictions, and those restrictions can be in the form of a radical with an even exponent, even index, a fraction, 1 over x minus 2, a logarithm, and so on. Okay? These, your domain is going to be affected. Your domain is affected, therefore your range is affected. Remember, if you have a function, if you have an ice machine, and you're putting in 5 gallons of cherry Kool-Aid, then you're going to get 5 gallons of cherry ice. If you plug in 3 gallons of grape Kool-Aid, you're going to get 3. So the range is dependent upon the domain. If the domain is affected, then you know that the range is going to be affected. So in this case, we have a what? We have a fraction. So the first thing you got to do is set the denominator equal to what? 0. To 0. Why? Because you cannot have 0 in the denominator. And now you solve it. You solve it, you get z squared is equal to 8. Take the square root of both sides. Z is equal to positive or negative. Square root of 4 is equal to 2. Square root of 9 is equal to 3. 2.5 is in the middle. Square root of 6.5 is equal to 2.5. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say positive or negative 2.9. Now, that's close enough for government work, but if you have a calculator, go ahead and take the square root of 8 in your calculator so I can punch it in without having to guesstimate. It's a miracle. I was off by 700s. 2.83. Now, does the directions say round? Is this simplified fraction? I don't think so. Can't be a simplified fraction. So let's see what they want. Square root of 8 is square root of 8. I don't know.
Wouldn't it be the square root of negative 8 though? Wouldn't you subtract
it's
it?
Positive or negative, huh? Oh, negative. Okay, my bad. It's supposed to be a negative 8, and you can't take the square root of a negative, so what does that mean? Okay, so there's no real solution. The main, what? No. Why? Okay, it's going to be square root of 8 times I, because you can't take the square root. Evidently, they want 8i. So we'll just say 8i. I don't know how it's going to, it's supposed to be a negative 8. 8i. It's supposed to be positive or negative, but I don't know if they want that or not. That's supposed to be a negative right there. My bad. So it should be positive or negative 2.9i. In which they probably don't want that either. So I don't know what they want. Some of these can be kind of cantankerous as far as typing in the answer. And I am very lenient when you come to me with a, okay, B. I know why. The reason it's all real numbers is because I wasn't listening to my first rule. What is this? X squared is to the second power. I'm sorry, I got messed up. So all real numbers, it is a fraction, but what's the variable raised to? The second. So in this case, you cannot get a 0 in the denominator. That's why we got an 8i, right? I mean a 2.9i. You cannot get 0 in the denominator. So in this case, it's all real numbers. I'm sorry, I got two birds mixed up at the same time. Sorry. Okay, so let's do another one just to make sure you understand, because I messed that one up for you. I will admit when I mess up. I'm not like some teachers that say they're perfect. I'm not. Let's do this one. This one says W squared, or W, depending on where you're from, is equal to 0. W squared equals negative 3, and W is equal to the square root of negative 3. W is equal to 3, square root of 3, and then I, in which that means that you cannot get 0 in the denominator. Cannot get 0 in denominator. Okay, so that means that the answer is all real numbers. That means you can plug any number in for W. Any number for W. So, my bad on that. Is that a test question? Yes. For chapter 1, for unit 1, it is a test question. I don't mind putting that one on there, even though I screwed it up. But I'm allowed one screw up a day at least. If I do more than 2 screws, that means it's time to go home and get some tequila or something. All right, next one. Are y'all with me? Y'all awful quiet. Okay.
Yes.
Y'all settle down. Y'all getting too loud. Next one. 17 in the review. This is a complex rational expression. You should quit. Why? Because it's all fractions. We can't do fractions. Heck, we can't even read tape measures. So we might as well what? Quit. 1 over x plus 4 minus 1 over x divided by 1 over x. What is the common denominator of x and x plus 4? X times x plus 4, right? So I'm going to multiply by x times x plus 4 over 1 divided by x times x plus 4 over 1. Do that. You always multiply by the common denominator over 1 over the common denominator over 1. Now, could you multiply by the reciprocal? Yes, you could do that also and then simplify. So I'll go over here and I will do that in a different color. I could do x over 1 multiplied by 1 over x plus 4 minus 1 over x. So there's two ways you could do this problem. Okay, we're going to go back over here, and I'm going to take my x, I'm going to put a baby step in here. So that's going to be x times x plus 4 over 1, x times x plus 4 over 1, x times x plus 4 over 1, and now I'm going to multiply by all my other stuff. So times 1 over x plus 4 minus 1 over x over 1 over x. And what's going to happen to all my terms? We're going to have some canceling go on. This x plus 4 cancels, and that's going to leave what? X. This x is going to cancel, and that's going to leave x plus 4. And this x is going to cancel, and that's going to leave x plus 4. So let's see what we have left. Over here, what's x times 1? X. Minus x times x plus 4. I'm sorry, I just messed that up. Okay, minus 1, because x cancels out, that's a 1 right there, so that's going to be a negative 1 times x plus 4 over x plus 4. I don't know why every time I put this thing on the left side, it starts going quirky on me. I don't know why it does that. Damn Russians. X minus x plus 4 over x plus 4, and what happens to the x's? So I get 4 over x plus 4. So let's see what we get over here. So I take my Verde pen, and I get x over x plus 4 minus x over x, which is what? 1 over 1. Now I'm going to multiply both sides by x plus 4. X plus 4, well, yeah, x plus 4 over 1. And that's going to give me x times x plus 4 over x plus 4 minus x plus 4 over 1. And that's x plus 4 right there. I think I've messed up somewhere. And that's going to give me x minus x is going to give me 4. I should have x plus 4 somewhere. Should be x plus 4 over here. I'm be willing to bet you this is correct. I think I've done something wrong over here.
Would it be -4
Would it?
on the top?
Yes, -4. Thank you. Okay. So your answer should be -4 over x plus 4. You could do it this way, but evidently I've made a mistake here, because you can multiply by that x over 1, and that's going to be x over x plus 4 minus x over x, and then get a common denominator. I must have canceled the 1 over 1. I should have multiplied by x here. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's where I messed up. But either way, you should get -4 over x plus 4. Okay? Complex rational expressions. Let's do it there. Well, that's that. That's that one. Let me go ahead and delete these two. Delete. And this one is the same one. This is number 14. It's the same question, I believe. Yeah. And that's the shortcut. Shortcut number what? Number 5. If you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, I'll write them down for you. Shortcut number 1. A plus B, quantity squared, is equal to A plus B. A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. 2. A minus B, quantity squared, is equal to A squared minus 2AB plus B squared. Number 3. A squared minus B squared is equal to A plus B times A minus B. A plus B quantity cubed is equal to A plus B times A squared minus AB plus B squared. 5. A minus B quantity cubed is equal to A minus times A squared plus AB plus B squared. I'm sorry, I have these written wrong. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm just missing the lick on everything. I'm usually not this bad. A cubed minus B cubed. A cubed plus B cubed. And A cubed minus B cubed. There we go. Now, all of you should be saying to yourself what? I've seen these before. Oh, you downloaded it on your phone. Good. You just saved yourself $100. Oh, for those of you that don't have a graphing calculator and you don't want to spend $100, you can download it on your phone. If you got an Android, it's real simple. Of course, Androids are simple. If you got Apple, you got to go around the world and spend money. So, if you got an Android, you can go to WabbitEMU. It's the same as on my handy dandy. I want to share. I don't want to just share with the Anderson campus. I need to include the other campuses. There it is. See the top of my Wabbit? That's Wascally Wabbit. EMU. Not that stupid, annoying commercial. That Libu, Emu. I keep in that commercial. I have to. There are some commercials that are fun, some commercials that you have to tolerate, and then there's some commercials that are just annoying as hell. And that Emu commercial is annoying as hell. What's your most annoying commercial?
Aflac.
Oh, you think the Aflac duck? Oh, man. I kind of like the Aflac duck. But like everybody's different. But
Stanton Optical.
What?
Stanton Optical. The guy that screams with the glasses.
I don't believe I've seen that one.
Sounds irritating.
He has that stuffed cat, I think. Or
I'll have
stuffed
to
dog.
look. What's it called again?
It's Stanton Optical. It's an eyeglasses commercial.
I'll have to look at it. I don't believe I've seen that one. Another annoying commercial is the guy with the beard that's the Ameritrade, and he goes, kale is too much work. Oh God, he's annoying. I don't believe y'all have seen that one. No another annoying commercial?
People stream everything now.
Yeah, that's true. I'd stream my Andy Griffith, my Family Guy, and my Archer. So I've been watching all those. So I gotta start streaming something else, but some of these shows are so stupid that it's hard for me to stream them. Oh well. So you should be saying to yourself on those 5 shortcuts, oh, I remember my teacher teaching me these, but I didn't learn them because I did the reverse FOIL. Well, that's why you're going to be doing number 2 on the calculus test, and there's going to be people walking up, turning in their test, and you're on number 3 or 4. Okay? If you don't learn these shortcuts, they're going to plague you and haunt you until you drop your major and change to underwater firefighting degree because you couldn't do the math. Okay? And you made another bad decision, and you're not going to be able to get a job, and then you're going to try to rely on the government to pay your student loans. Okay? So, instead of going down a bad decision road, we need to learn these. Okay? So if you haven't learned them, you need to learn them. Same thing with completing the square. Make sure you know how to complete the square. Make sure you know how to do the reverse FOIL. If you don't, you're going to be in trouble because remember, 90% of calculus is algebra. So, with that being said, which one does it look like? Well, it doesn't look like number 1, 2, or 3. Why? Those are squares. This is what? A cube. So it's number 4 or number 5. Which one is it? Number 5. So you put number 5 up under it. So I'm going to do this. This is Hubert's way of showing you how to do these. Unless you invented these, you might want to write it down. So here I go. A cubed minus b cubed equals a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. And I'm going to draw a line here, and I'm going to draw a line here. So, a cubed, I love having a tower right here so I can trip over it. A cubed is equal to 64 x cubed. And b cubed is equal to 27. Therefore, what is a? Four x. Good job. What is b? So now we're going to take a and b and do what? Plug and what? Plug and chug. So do that. And that's how you use shortcuts 1 through 5. Now, what's the closest thing to a musical instrument in mathematics? The shortcuts and the reverse FOIL. If you don't get good at it, you're going to fail calculus. If you want to do well in calculus, then you have to get really good at the reverse FOIL and the shortcuts.
Where did you get the 4x? Here, but where did you get the 4x?
What is the cube root of 64?
Okay.
What is the cube root of x cubed?
I'm guessing you rid of
What?
4.
What? Say again?
4. The cube root of 64?
It should be, isn't it? What's 4 times 4 times 4?
64.
16 times 4 is 64, isn't it? I'm looking to see who asked it. I can't see because I got 3 little screens.
Here.
Who asked that one?
Okay.
Oconee. Yes. You take the cube root of 64, you get 4. You take the cube root of x cubed, you get x. The reason people, shy away from that is because they are used to thinking in terms of perfect squares. And the first thing students go is, well, the cube root of 64 is 8. And it's not. The cube root of 64 is 4. So, what I would suggest you do, if you suck at cube roots, is I would make a little chart. Everybody knows your cube roots. Make a little index card. This is what I used to do. Okay? X squared, and I'd put 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, and I'd go up to 15. 15 squared is equal to what? 225. Good. Okay? Go all the way up to 15. Cubed. I went all the way to 10. Okay? 1 cubed is 1. 2 cubed is what? 8. 3 cubed is what? 27. Up to 10 cubed, which is what? 1,000. And then x to the 4th, I'd go to about 4 or 5. And then x to the 5th, I went to about 3 or 4. Okay? You need to get in the habit of knowing your perfect cubes, perfect 4th, perfect 5th. Okay? Something you might want to get in the habit of using. Okay, so I'm going to take my handy dandy parentheses because when I use plug and chug, I use parentheses. So parentheses minus parentheses, bracket, parentheses squared, plus parentheses times parentheses, plus parentheses squared. And a lot of people go, why does he do all that? If you walk into my office 10 years from now and ask me to do a plug and chug problem, guess what I'm going to use? Parentheses. In counting my Tri-County Tech degree, I have 4 degrees. Okay? So if I use 4 degrees, and I had 4 degrees, and I use parentheses, what do you think those of you with no degrees should be using? Parentheses. Oh no, we have people that don't need them. And they wonder why they make careless mistakes on a test. 4x, 3, 4x, 4x, 3, 3. So we get 4x minus 3 times 16x squared plus 12x plus 9. And that's your final answer. Most common mistake, 8x squared plus 12x plus 6. Most common mistake. I'm just going to type 3 because I'm lazy and I want to hurry up and try to get into some more review. So, Gen 3. And you should see, after 3 times, the answer should pop up. There we go. It's a miracle. We got it right. 4x minus 3, 16x squared plus 12x plus 9. You feel good about yourself. All right, so those are 3 review questions. Hopefully, the rest of y'all, let's go make fun of people. Let's go to your, let's see, where is it? Grade book. Let's go see who's registered. Oh no. What about all those people with 5 flat tires? And let's go with, let's see where 111 is. 111. What's it? Dang. Is that 111? There we go. I mean, let's say 111, I don't know which, this must be Pendleton campus.
That's 110.
Does it say 110? Shoot.
111.
I thought I saw 111. They don't have, why do they only have, no, there should be 4. Well, don't tell me they have fixed it. Let me go back and pull them up.
My lab's plus school isn't showing anything for me.
What?
Yeah.
I have to go pull them up separately. All right, there's one.
I'm not.
It's the first one. This is number 12. It's supposed to pull up all of them. I don't know why it's not pulling up all of them. Let me go see that I'm pulling now. This is section 12. Whoever section 12 is, this must be Pendleton. So let's go with assignments and let's see how far everybody's gone. Yeah, y'all pretty much suck. Pendleton, y'all suck really bad. Look at there.
I've done 70%.
Oh, look, we got a 3 there. Knocking it down, buddy, with that 3. People, y'all should be working. Everybody should have a number here. Okay? Whether it's a 5. Miss Payne, you're the winner. Okay? You got a 3, so that means you're at least you clicked on one, okay? See these people that haven't even clicked on one? They haven't even clicked on one. So they're on, I'm sorry, 9.1. They did the algebra review, good. I back up. We have a couple of people that are still working on the algebra review, but I haven't seen too many questions sent in. So that means y'all really suck. Now why did that showed up second? This showed up first. I think something's wrong with, let's look and see if there's another one. See, now a while ago when I pulled up 111, they wasn't there. Something's going on with them. Let's make fun of, is this the Anderson campus?
That's scary.
Yeah, y'all really suck. Mr. McCarthy, you hadn't even done anything, so you might as well just quit. You need to drop the course.
It's not showing anything for
Yes.
MyLabs Plus.
It doesn't?
No.
Okay, we need to check on that. Okay, Mr. Guffey, that's 6. It's really sad. That's really sad. Miss Amanda, you are the winner of the Anderson campus. You are the winner. Let's make fun of some other people. Let's make fun of, let's see, this is, I think, Oconee campus. This Oconee? I can't see. Oh, we got one person not even on the roll, so is this Oconee or is this Easley? Who is this?
It's easily.
Okay, Easley, y'all got one person that hasn't even shown up. What is it? You got 5 flat tires or what?
Something
Mr. Reynolds,
like that.
look at that big score for Mr. Reynolds there. Come on now, get with the program. Y'all need to get started. Who else is left? Oconee campus. Let's see Oconee campus. Okay, Oconee, you're doing pretty good. You're all winners at Oconee. Barry, you need to come on now. You need to get on that second. You need to get finished now. But otherwise, Oconee, you're doing good. Pendleton, you're doing good. The rest of y'all suck. No. People are doing their homework, so you need to be sending in questions. All right, let's look at something else. How about completing the square? How many of you know how to complete the square? How about the family of graphs? Y'all remember the family of graphs? Let's do the family of graphs, and let's see if you remember. Because we need to worry about graphing. And make sure you know about graphing. So I'm going to go to the whiteboard, and we're going to do family of graphs. Oh, there they are. There's the family of graphs. Make sure you write those down. If you have an x to the first, that means you're linear. X to the second, quadratic. That means you got a parabola. X to the third, a squiggly line. X to the fourth. What happens as the exponent, even exponent, gets bigger and bigger? What happens to the bottom of the u? It gets more square and more square. Okay? Square root of x looks like a swoosh. Absolute value, absolute vodka. What does value and vodka start with? V. So it looks like a V. 1 over x, half a volcano. 1 over x squared looks like a volcano. So make sure you know your family of graphs. Why should you know the family of graphs? Well, you need to know the family of graphs because vertical, horizontal shifts and all that good stuff. You're going to see that in calc. All right? So finish writing that down, then we'll move on. Looks like to me we're going to jump into some trig pretty soon. Unless we get those 5 or 6 people to actually jump on the unit, the review and finish it, it would help to have about 5 or 6 of y'all participate. You also got the sign, we're going to go over that. But the reason you need to know these is because if I give you this function, if I say f of x is equal to 2 times x plus 3 quantity squared minus 6. Somebody tell me what you can tell me from just that without graphing anything. What can you tell me about that function?
A vertex?
It's got a vertex of what?
Parabola.
It's a parabola because of the square. We know it's got a vertex of what? -3 and -6. So a vertex, we can get the vertex. We know that it's a parabola. We know it opens upward because of the plus. We know the 2 tells us it's going to be a little bit narrower. It's not going to be as wide as a regular parabola. This is your vertical, this is your horizontal shift. This is your vertical shift. And then we can solve it for your x-intercepts. And we can put it back in quadratic form to know that it is what? It's got a y-intercept or whatever and all that good stuff. Okay, so now let me erase this and put this. F of x is equal to 2 sine of x minus 2 plus 4. What does that tell me? The same thing that you learned in algebra with the compression. It's going to be compressed along the x-axis and stretched along the what? The y-axis because of the 2. We know that it's going to have a horizontal shift of 2 to the right. So instead of originating at the origin, it's going to move 2 to the right, and it's going to have a vertical shift of 4 up. So that's going to have a lot to do. In other words, the stuff that you learned with these parent graphs, vertical, horizontal shift, amplitude, or compression, or stretching, it's going to be transferred into the trig. Do you see what I'm saying? Hopefully yes or no. But okay, so make sure you remember your horizontal and vertical shifts. What else do we need to remember? We also need to remember, well, we need to remember your graphing skills, because everything is going to be concentrated around the origin. So if I go out here 2 units and I go up 4 units, then I have a triangle. And this point is 2, 4, but 2 squared plus 4 squared is 4 plus 16, which is 20. So the square root of 20 is going to be your hypotenuse. So you got to remember your graphing skills. You also got to remember some of your skills, that this is 0 degrees, this is 90 degrees, this is 180 degrees, this is 270 degrees, and this is 360 degrees. You got to remember that a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. And what is that called? Pythagorean theorem. Now, again, I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence, but when I, assign the review section, I should have review questions. I got 2 reviews. I got 3. Did we go over 3 questions today? I should have 10, because there's about 4 or 5 people that haven't done anything. All right, so that means that Thursday, when we talk about sending in questions, y'all are already behind, because I'm fixing to go, into a little bit of intro trig right now. So some of you are already a section of homework behind. Those 6 or 7 that hasn't done anything, you're already behind. So I thought I told y'all I wanted y'all to do the review homework. Evidently I didn't tell y'all loud enough, because it was my fault, right? Mr. Griffin, it's my fault, right?
Yes.
Yeah, everything's my fault. Everything. Just like the Russians. I was making sure it wasn't my 7th grader in trouble. Okay, so anybody got any questions on any algebra questions that they've, seen in their homework or want me to go over? Anything? I'm gonna go over and look right quick. I don't trust y'all. Pendleton, settle down. I don't know what we're going to do with Pendleton. They just won't be quiet. I believe they gas them in that room up there. I really do. So they don't say nothing. They just... Oh! Thank you, Miss Jackson.
No problem.
Is that Pendleton campus, Miss Jackson? Where's Miss Jackson? Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate your cooperation. Okay, factor the polynomial by grouping. All right, there's 2 types of grouping. There's the 2 by 2, and there's the 3 by 1. How do you know which one this one is? Well, chances are this is a 2 by 2 because there's not a lot of perfect squares. Okay? Now, I have no idea yet because I haven't looked at it, but let me just go through 4. There's another one. Somebody's sending another one. All right, 4 terms. You have a 2 by 2. Usually, a 3 by 1 is depicted by a lot of perfect squares. Okay? Now, this one doesn't have perfect squares, but usually, if you see a lot of perfect squares, that's a dead giveaway. All right, let me give you an example of one with a 3 by 1. That would be x squared plus 4x plus 4 minus y squared. How many perfect squares do you have in that problem? Okay, you've got, that's not supposed to be 4 squared, it's supposed to be 4x. Sorry. 4x. There we go. Okay, you have 1, 2, 3. You got 3 perfect squares. So you would do this, and that's a 3 by 1. So that would be shortcut number 1, which would be x plus 2 quantity squared minus y squared, which is x plus 2 plus this shortcut number 3, x plus 2 plus y, x plus 2 minus y. So that is a 3 by 1. And again, you've got shortcut number 1 right here and shortcut number 3 right here. So how do you do a 2 by 2? Well, I'm going to try to do one. I can't do one in my head right now because I have to really think that through. Let's see if this is a 2 by 2 because I don't see a lot of squares. So we're gonna treat this one like a 2 by 2. 8n cubed plus 56 minus bn cubed minus 7b. So I'm gonna rewrite this as plus a negative right here, make it easier on me. an to the third plus 56 plus a negative bn to the third minus 7b. I just rewrote this negative as a plus negative. You don't have to do that. 2 by 2. Now factor out a common term in the first one and factor out a common term in the second one. What's in common with 8n to the third and 56? 8. Factor out an 8. That gives you n to the third. What? Plus 7. What's in common with negative bn to the third and negative 7b? Negative what?
Negative
B. And that gives you n to the third plus what?
7.
Are these two supposed to match?
Yes.
Yes, they are. If they don't match, then that means you either done something wrong or it's not factorable. So, Let's go back to pre-algebra. Let's do this in magenta, meaning that we're in dreamland. Let's go back to pre-algebra. What is 2x plus 4x? That's really 2 plus 4 times x, because these two came down because it's a common term, right? So 6x. Does everybody understand that? For pre-algebra, 2x plus 4x is 6x. Does everybody understand that? Okay. So what is this? This is a common term, and this is a common term, so it just comes what? Down. And what are we adding? 8 minus b. That's like your 2 plus 4. And that's your answer. 8 minus b times n to the third plus 7. So that's along the lines of reverse FOIL and shortcuts. In fact, you learn grouping before you learn the reverse FOIL and shortcuts. And those shortcuts, I'll tell you a little secret. Think they're going anywhere? Hell to the no. They're going to follow you all the way to differential equations. So like I said, if you want to go ahead and drop to gender studies or global studies and work at Target the rest of your life, then go right ahead. Well, Target is a good thing if you get management, for a career. But, a cashier, you shouldn't you should move on from cashier, at least department head. Okay? Capiche? I have to say that because somebody would be offended if I don't say department head, to move on to department head. I don't know. Maybe it's just generational. I always thought that when you worked at a fast food restaurant or Walmart, where I worked, before I went in the Marine Corps, I thought that was kind of like, part-time to get through school. Now we've lowered the bar to where that is a career. And you need to get paid at least $15 an hour because we don't want to raise the bar, we want to lower it. Make a career out of it. I'm sorry. Shut up, Hubert. Let's check the answer and see if we're correct. We shouldn't be penalized for bad decisions, should we? Everybody gets a trophy. I'm trying. Let's see what they got. N cubed plus 7, 8 minus b. I have no idea why they would put the n cubed plus 7 first. I've never seen some of these people that write these answers. I really don't think they're math people. I think they're people that just do typing. I really do, because there is no way I would put the n cubed plus 7 first. But I'm just a math teacher, so what I know. Probably Russian. Oh my goodness, look at there. We getting some input. I tell you what, all you got to do is mention we're going on the trig, and boy, we get all kinds of questions in. Next question. This is review 27. Oh yeah, we might as well quit on this one. Why?
Fractions.
Number's too high. I have no idea what 216 is. Well, the first thing I would do is go back to your index card that has your perfect cubes on it. So let's go back to our index card. One of you will write. 99% of you won't. So I'm going to do cube root, or 1 cubed is 1, 2 cubed is 8, 3 cubed is 27, 4 cubed is 64, 5 cubed is what? 125. 6 cubed is what? 216 or 256? I forget. 216. 7 cubed, 343. I checked 7 cubed. Okay. 8 cubed. Now, why am I stopping? Okay. Well, the cube root of 216 is what?
6.
6. So remember, take your cube roots up to 10, because most of your math books and math problems aren't going to ask you what the cube root of 5,426 is. Most of them are going to stop at 1,000, usually with just a basic cube root. You know, what is the root of? So hopefully your index card will help you out there. Or you could just quit till I drop it. Because what is easier? What's the easiest route? When in doubt, quit. There we go. Or is it when the tough get going, quit? Which one is it? I think it's when the tough get going. Female junior studies. 10. Y'all laugh, but that is an actual degree program. Female gender studies. I wouldn't dare tell you where they offer it. Would anybody want to take a guess? No, it's either Yale or Harvard. It's one of those two. Because of course, if you can't afford the local school, where do you go? You go to the most expensive school you can't afford. That way it just jacks up more of those what? Student loans. And then where you're at the most expensive school that you can't afford, and you find out you can't do the math or the science or the English or whatever, you pick gender studies. Then when you get out with $750,000 worth of debt, you find out you can't get a job in gender studies because there is no such field. Or global studies, that's another one. Usually when a degree has studies behind it, that usually means you don't need to take it. Oh, reverse FOIL. This is reverse. Why is it not a shortcut? Somebody tell me. I should have like 15 people saying, oh, because it's so-and-so. Why is it not shortcut number 2 or number 3? Because 6 is not a perfect square, Hubert. That's right, class. 6 is not a perfect square. Oh, sorry. No wonder y'all don't fail. 6k squared plus 5kp minus 6p squared. Now, in order for the 3 shortcuts to work for squares and the 2 shortcuts to work for cubes, you either got to have a perfect square or you got to have a perfect cube. 6 is not a perfect what? Square. So you got to revert to the reverse FOIL. And the reverse FOIL depends on the outside or the inside. Why? Because 99.9% of y'all will give me the correct multiples for 6. 1 times 6 or 2 times 3. And you will give me the correct multiples of 1 times 6 and 2 times 3 for the what? The last city. But what will y'all screw up? The middle term. And that's the whole secret to doing the reverse FOIL. So, again, for those of you that play the instrument, I took piano for like 2 years. I wish I'd taken it all my life. I love the piano. But of course, trying to teach a young male to take the piano is just about impossible. So for those of you that did stick with it, I commend you. I wish I could have done that. But reverse FOIL is about the closest thing you're going to get in math to playing a musical instrument. Okay? You want to go to the recital and have a standing ovation, and you're going to stay on that piano 24 hours a day. If you want to suck at it and make a fool out of yourself, then you don't practice. Okay? And those of you that do play a musical instrument, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, what do you do? Well, I'm going to write a 1 and a 6 here. And I'm going to write a 2 and a 3 here, because 2 times 3 will give me 6. And 1 times 6 will give me 6. Same thing here. Now, this so happens, this one is the same 6 and 6. Usually they don't happen that way. If they do, you can factor out a common term. Since you got a 5 in the middle, you can't cancel out You can't do that. So, what's 6 times 6?
36.
36 and 1 will give you a 37 or a 35. That's not going to help you with the 5. So I'm going to switch it. 6 times 1 and 6 times 1. 6 and 6 will give you a 12 or a what? A 0. So that's not going to help you. So I'm going to try going with the 2 and the 3. What's 6 times 3? 18 and 2 will give you a 20 or a what? A 16. That's not going to help you, so I'm going to switch it. So I did 6 times 3, 6 times 3, yeah. 6 times 2 is what? 12 and 3. 12 and 3 is not going to give you anything that you need. So it's going to have to be a combination of the two middles. Okay, so I'm just going to pick one over here. I'm going to pick a 2K here and a 3K here. Now I'm going to pick a little 2 there, a little 3 here. That gives me 6 and what? 6. 6 and 6 is not going to what? Help us. Because 6 and 6 will give us a 12 or a 0. Now I'm going to flip this to a 3, flip this to a what? A 2. That'll give us a 4 and a 6. Or, sorry, 4 and a 9. 4 and 9 will give us a what? It'll give us a 5 or it'll give us a 13. We want a 5. So I'm going to make this a big 3. And I'm going to make this a big 2. This is the sign of the biggest term. What's the sign? What's the biggest term? 4 or 9? 9. That's a plus. What does this say? Like or unlike? Unlike. So what's the opposite of plus? And you're done. 2K plus 3.
You forgot the P.
Whatever. 3K, you're going to fail. Now, let me tell you, if you do 90% of that problem and you forget the P on a test question, I'm going to, that's a challenge. You come to me and I'll give you credit for that, okay? That's kind of like you doing 90% of a calculus problem right, and I don't mark it right because you didn't put the C on it, okay? That's a little bit ridiculous. So, yes, thank you for correcting me, whoever did that, even though you're going to fail this class. Next question. Everybody good on that one? Let's do another one, just to depress you a little bit more. What time's class over? I don't even know what time it started. Started at what, 11?
Oh.
No, we're at 12:35.
12:35? Okay, we got time for one more. Let's check this one and see if we know what we're doing. Let's take our handy dandy calculator and put you in a 3. 3K minus 2P, they're doing everything backwards from the way I'm doing it. This is not a math teacher typing these in. 2K plus 3P, there we go. We got it right, we feel good about ourselves. We don't have to carry around a milk jug full of water for 2 weeks. Anyway, we're not going there. Next, similar question. Okay, that's not. Let's see if we can pick it up. What number is this? What did it say it was? Number 10? Let's go to the handy dandy homework and pick out another problem. That was number, what did I say, 10? That was number 10 right there. Okay, that's a good one. It's got different. I like the one with different numbers. 6W or W, depending on where you're from. W. Clemson. Here we are, folks. ESPN. We're in Clemson, South Carolina. 6W squared plus 11WP minus 35P squared. You can't factor out a common term, so you might as well just quit and go to the next problem.
Yeah.
Wait, see what
I had one girl one time go to the president. Well, the president did laughed at her. Dude, that's what is it, literal? I guess not many people had the people that I had growing up. I had all these old people that would mess with you, pick on you, all these grandpas and uncles, and they would always, make fun of you or make fun of a situation, and I guess I'm just used to it. Heck, we got people now that don't even know basic idioms because they don't even know where their grandparents are from, which I know it's hard to keep up with. It's just a different world now. It's different. I say you don't get the cart before the horse, and they look at me like I'm speaking Japanese or something. It's their parents' fault. That's what it is. Don't change horses in midstream.
You're basically just factoring. You're just adding sugar.
Reverse FOIL. I'm going to draw 2 sets of parentheses. I'm going to put a 1 here and a 6 here, a 2 here and a 3 here. I'm going to put a 1 and a 35 and a 5 and a 7. Chances are the 5 and 7 is going to work.
And then
Why? Because 35 gives you too big of a number to whittle down for that 11. So chances are the 5 and the 7 are going to work. I don't know yet. I'm going to put in 1 and 6. So what is 35 times 1 plus 6? It's too big for 11, isn't it? So I'm not going to worry about the 35. I'm not going to do that one. But I'm going to switch it right quick. 6 times 35 is a BA number, so that's not going to help. So I'm going to, let's look at 6 and 5. How about 42 and 5? What will 42 and 5 give you? Not 11. How about 7 and 30? No. So 1 and 6 is pretty much what? Out. Now I'm going to try the 2 and 3. What is 21 and 10? Wow, that'll work. So I'm going to put a 2W and a 3W. And then I'm going to put a, what I say, 7. 7 goes with here, right? 7 with the 3, right? And 2, 5, right? What does the largest number have to be? A positive. What's bigger? 10 or 21?
21.
That's plus. What is this? Who is that? Y'all got to chill with the paper. Y'all know how sensitive these microphones are? Sounds like y'all are rounding up cattle, whoever's doing that. All right? So, y'all going to have to chill until I get through with this problem. Let me see some of y'all's paper. Let's see a couple of pieces. All right, I'm going to give y'all an example.
We heard it already.
Y'all hear what it sounds like? There you go, you keep it. I appreciate it. All right. So keep the paper kind of at a minimum, please. All right. So what does this mean? Like or unlike? And there's your answer. 2W plus 7. I'm sorry, W. 3W minus 5. So, if you got questions, send them if you got them. Okay? And I'm going to shut us down. Did I take the roll? I haven't? Okay. Let's do it before Pendleton explodes. Because they're the ones that's going to explode first.
I don't know.
Okay, right now, what's your homework? You should be working. Everybody should be working on the review. When I start seeing everybody has the review and I'm not getting any questions, then I'm going to move on to 1.1 and 1.2. But I've got a lot of people, 6 or 7 of y'all, that haven't even started on it yet. Okay, so make sure you get started on it and send questions. All right, the attendance tracker, and I got to turn.